Hey guys, it's Jacqueline and welcome back to the speed build in The Sims 4. Today's video is part 2 in a series that I'm doing called Recreating Stars Hollow. So I'm basically just going through and recreating a bunch of different buildings from the TV show Gilmore Girls, which is like one of my favorite TV shows ever. Probably my favorite. I don't know if I can say for sure that it's my favorite, but it's definitely up there. So today is going to be basically finishing off the town square. So we're going to be furnishing the rest of the building that Luke's Diner is in, and if you want to see that video, the only video I've done in the series so far has been Luke's Diner and Luke's apartment. So that is also in this building, and that video will be linked in the playlist in the cards. And today we are finishing the rest of that building, so this is going to be Stars Hollow books, and also it is furnishing of Taylor's old-fashioned soda shop and candy store. Sorry, I'm gonna mess up saying that a lot of times because I can't say it for some reason. But yeah, so the exterior of this build is basically already done, so that's why we just pretty much went straight into the furnishing, because I did that in the first part. So if you want to see that, make sure that once you finish this video you go and check that out. But the bookstore, we actually don't see that much in the show, which is what we're working on right now, the interior of. We see it like 2 times in the entire show, I think. One time is when Rory and Lane are in there together, and they're like Lane's looking at stuff for her pregnancy, and Rory's looking at other stuff. And then the other time is when Rory goes there with her dad in season 1. And it changes a little bit, although the second one might be the library. The first one, when we see it with Rory and Lane, it might be the library, I'm not sure. But I tried to base the bookcases off the ones that are in that episode, so I don't know, either way. I think that even if it's like not an exact recreation, it's still really nice, like as a functional lot. But I will say my one thing with bookstores in The Sims 4 is that they're kind of pointless, because like if you have a bookcase on your home lot, you can click on it and you can be like buy book, and then it'll bring you the menu of a bunch of different books. And you can select one to buy. But if you're in the store, I don't believe you can do that. Like if I set this to a retail lot and then have my sim come here, click on the bookcase and be like buy book, they won't be able to, I don't believe. So what I usually do instead is set out the stacks of books, because then I think your sim can buy this stack, and then they get the book in their inventory. So I don't know, it's technically still functional, but it's not like, out of all of the different stores you could have in The Sims, I would not say that bookstores are like the best of the best, but it was one of the main things that I could think of that was something that, you know, is in Stars Hollow. I was also thinking I could maybe do Fran's or Weston's Bakery, which is owned by Fran, but the thing with that is that then I would have 3 like food oriented shops right like next to each other, and something about it just irked me, so I decided not to. But either way, I think this bookstore ends up being pretty nice. Like it's very, very cute for sure, and I don't know, I really like it. I wish we had a bookstore like this where I live. Although, come to think of it, we do, because we have like one street. So most of our city is kind of like metropolis-y, but we have one street that's like the historic street, right? And so we have all of these like, I don't know, not fancy, like family-owned types of shops and stuff. It's just like cute and idyllic, and like not at all like the rest of it. So, yeah, we have that one street, and there's a bookstore there that I really like to go to, but I've only been a few times because there's like Barnes and Nobles everywhere, and it's a lot easier to get to those. So, but yeah, I just really like bookstores in general, so I don't know, that's probably why I was drawn to this, because like the other thing I was considering doing was the Stars Hollow Gazette office, because we see that a lot in the recreation of the show, because Rory obviously starts to work there at the end of it. By the way, if you didn't catch on yet, there's going to be spoilers, because I know this show front and back, and I will probably mention a lot, like, stuff that happens in it, and you'll be like, I didn't know that. So I'm sorry about that. If you haven't watched the show yet, you might not want to watch this. I don't know. But yeah, Rory ends up working at the Stars Hollow Gazette in the revival of the show, so I almost built that office because it would also, like, be sort of fitting and sort of along the theme of books, which I don't know, I just felt like there should be something book related, because, you know, Rory books. But yeah, I decided to do this instead, and I think it ends up being cute. But this is honestly pretty much it for the furnishing of it. Like, it's very basic, and I just was like filling up the walls on top of the bookcases and stuff, because that's something I noticed. Even though we didn't see many pictures of the bookstore itself, I've seen pictures of like most of the sets in Stars Hollow, and they're all like filled with stuff everywhere. Like there is not a blank wall. They do not simply leave walls blank. So I just wanted to make sure there was stuff everywhere, and I felt like it's kind of fitting. Like maybe the bookstore is also like where they keep a lot of the historic archives and stuff. So yeah, I just really like that a lot too. And now we're just going to work on the outside of this building. So I did not really work on the back of it in the last build because I did the front of the build pretty much, and the back of it I sort of just left, and I was like, I'll do that before I put it on the gallery. But I decided I would just include it in this one because I I don't know, I just felt like I should. So yeah, I'm sorry by the way if it bugs you that I'm putting a lot of different builds together into one video. Because these are all like technically only 2 lots like when you put it together, but there's a lot of different like parts of it that we're moving on to. It's not like I'm just building a house and I'm like, yeah, we're doing the house and the rooms in the house. So I'm sorry if you don't like that, but I thought it would be better to have longer videos that are just like compilations, because I feel like no one would want to watch like just specifically Taylor's Old Fashioned Soda Shopping Candy Store or Stars Hollow Books or like whatever, you know? So I don't know. Although I probably wouldn't have to work as hard if I was doing like a lot of tiny videos, because, you know, less footage and more time to get it out, but that's okay. A bit of obsessive work is good for the soul. No, it's not. Don't obsess over work, but I have nothing else to do right now, so I think it's fine anyway. Yeah, so let me know how you guys are doing with everything. I hope you're well, and I hope that you're enjoying this series. I'm pretty good. I don't know, I'm just like bored, honestly. I'm considering, or I'm evaluating different hobbies that I should take up. I've been like evaluating them based on different criteria, such as what materials are needed, do I think I would enjoy it, do I think I would be good at it, is it a productive thing, like does it produce a product, and I don't know. I don't know how I feel, because I was really wanting to think about doing cross stitch for a while, because, okay, so random story, I found this like thread that we used to use to make friendship bracelets in my house, and I was like, wow, I have a shirt with nothing on it and I have thread and a needle, let's just embroider. And so I embroidered something, which is like, I don't know, not a thing that I do because I'm not really usually into like domestic hobbies, but I've also been crocheting, so clearly that's changing. But so then I like had fun with that, but I was like, I don't know anything technical about this, so maybe I should like learn how to actually do it, you know? But then I researched it, and it turns out that you have to like buy thread and embroidery needles and stuff, which is, first of all, it's like duh, but I was like, yeah, it'll be great. I'll just like do it with my one single sewing needle that I have and my like thread that does not come in an assortment of colors, and I have like 2 skeins. That's hyperbole, but like, you know what I'm saying. So, basically, I don't know, I'm considering maybe like buying a starter pack or something. I don't know. I don't really know how to get into it. I was looking at the embroidery, I think it's called the embroidery subreddit, like, yeah, or maybe the cross stitch subreddit. I don't know. I think they're the same thing, but they call it cross stitch in the UK. I don't know. If anybody knows, let me know. But yeah, I was looking at that, and they had an entire post, because everybody's like looking for new hobbies since we have nothing to do. They had an entire post about like how to get started with learning how to do that. So I was looking at that, and I was thinking I might just like buy some starter stuff and see if I like it, because as far as I can think of, I'm pretty sure I would. So I don't know. I'm sure nobody's really interested in this, but I've also been learning more guitar and stuff, because I have a guitar. So the thing with guitar is that I feel like it's a good hobby because you don't have to buy anything, you know? Like, obviously you have to buy a guitar, but like once you have the guitar, you're good. But with something like, really art of any kind, like, except for like online art, but like art where you're physically creating something, you have to continuously buy supplies for it. So I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know. But either way, now we're working on the soda shop and candy store, and so basically, the storyline with this is that this guy named Taylor from the town, he's kind of the town crank, but he's called the town selectman, which is like their mayor basically, and he like makes all the rules and stuff, and he knows all of the town codes and bylaws and whatever. And he's like, you know what? I really want to open up this candy shop. So he basically buys the building next to Luke's, which infuriates Luke because they have this whole rivalry thing. And then he builds a candy store, basically. It's basically like it's a soda shop and candy store, so there's ice cream, and what I did, I'm really excited about this. So what I did was I put in ice cream machines and stuff, but that's kind of irrelevant, because what I used was the, like, fridge case thing from Get to Work, which basically acts as a fridge, but it's like a display fridge, so when you go, you can literally like have your Sims click on something, and if it's set as a retail lot and you have set those items as for sale, you can purchase the items in the fridge. So what I did was had a Sim come here and make a bunch of different types of ice cream, and then I put them all in the fridge. So if you go to this lot and it's set as retail, you can have your Sim go and they can buy the ice cream, and then they get the ice cream and they can eat it, and I just thought it was a really cute idea. But if you don't have it set as a retail lot, you have it set as a restaurant and you want to go to Luke's, so you want to like go to the diner, then you get food at the diner and it functions as a restaurant. Then afterwards you can come to the retail lot, or you can come to the soda shop, which isn't technically a retail lot, but you can still click on the fridge and have your Sims grab ice cream. It just won't charge them anything, so I thought either way it worked well. And then they also have the little like chocolate fountain, I don't know, fondue fountain, whatever you want to call that, which I never ever use. It's from Luxury Party Stuff, but I thought that was also a cute thing to include so your Sims can like get some candy. I don't know. I had a really hard time doing like the clutter around this because yeah, it was just really difficult because obviously we don't have anything in the game that's super oriented to that. Like if you look at pictures of the soda shop, it's a bunch of like lollipop stands or like those kinds of glass containers full of gumballs or whatever, you know. We don't have those, obviously, so I had to kind of improvise a little bit. Like I took these containers that are usually full of fruit and I basically just changed the colors on them and stacked them on top of each other, so I thought it kind of looked like some kind of candy, maybe. I don't know. You have to pretend with me, but just overall, I think it's nice. I think the vibe is still achieved, even if the decorations aren't necessarily the same. So I tried to copy them as closely as possible, but there are not necessarily a lot of pictures of this place up either. There's a few more than there are of the bookstore, so I tried my best based on that. But I really just wanted to do it because it's technically the building next to the diner, and I didn't want to have just the diner and then like a huge empty building next to it, because I don't think that would be any fun to like visit, functionally speaking. So I think it's much more fun to visit now when you like come here with your Sims, and this is technically still like a recreation of the soda shop, and I think it still looks good. So the thing that's mainly in this video that's like actually a really accurate recreation is the park, which you will see when we get there, and it's technically the town square. I looked at maps of the way that the town is technically like drawn out, which are of course like speculation, because we never get a map in the show, but of how the town is supposed to be like oriented, so that I could see how the square was supposed to be oriented. And then I learned from those maps that apparently there's a whole other park, which we never see in the show, so I think somebody might just be making that up. But I decided to just make the town square functional as a park, so I put a lot more stuff in there than you would usually see like in the town square, because the town square is one of those things where they put a bunch of stuff there, like a bunch of random stuff. Like at some point there's this hippie guy that's like selling his vegetables there on a kiosk cart. Well, it's a cart kiosk, and if you see that episode you'll get that reference. And then there's like there's just a whole slew of things that happen at the town square. But the main like element of that they display in the show is the gazebo, so I just really wanted to make sure that was recreated, and the rest of it is like based on the park, and it's like I tried to make it as accurate as possible. So hopefully you guys will like this. I will say I think this specific video out of all the videos I'm doing is going to be the least like recreation-y, because it's definitely like based on and strongly influenced by the vibes of Stars Hollow, but some of it is sort of just coming from my head. Either way, yeah, that is pretty much what's going on here. So anyway, how are you guys? I know I already said that. See, this is what I do every time I like run out of things to talk about in the video. I'm like, how are you guys? And then I start talking about myself. But the thing is that there's just not a lot to say about myself right now, so it's kind of like, and then I just go back to talking about, oh, sorry, I hit my mic again. I never know if you guys can hear that, but it happened. I just go back to talking about the video whenever I see an opportunity to, but unfortunately, there's nothing to talk about in my life right now, so like, I don't know, what do I say? Let's see, I have a math test tomorrow, but it's like, how are you gonna test us, you know? So basically what they said is that we have to like go on Zoom and we have to have our face cam on, right? And so the whole concept of it is like, it's an open book test, and you can like go on the web and do whatever you want on like online to find answers. You just can't talk to anybody else, which like usually I would be like, oh, that's kind of dumb, you know, but like based on my past experience, there's definitely like, it's not like you can find the answers to everything on the web, so I think it's still smart idea to assess us. I don't know. I don't think there's any way that you can really enforce that people won't just like be on FaceTime with each other and like, oh, what's the answer to this one, you know? So like, it's fine. I'm prepared for it overall, so I think we're fine. Everything is totally great, and yeah, I don't know. I'm not doing too great. Like, I'm fine technically speaking, but the vibes are kind of off. Like, something feels off, you know? I'm not really sure what it is. So I tried to restore my vibes today by going outside and reading for like 3 hours. I mean, it was still productive, don't worry, because it was a book for school. Not that reading a book that's not for school isn't productive, because it still gives you valuable world perspective and stuff, and it's okay to do stuff that's not productive, but I get kind of crazy and I'm like, I have to do something that's like valuable to my time and me. So yeah, either way, that kind of fixed the vibe a little bit. I don't know. See, this is what I'm just like vaguely describing whatever is wrong as the vibe so that I can like tell them. I don't know, but either way, the building is helping. Building is definitely beneficial to me and my vibes. So that's basically what's going on here. Either way, I'm feeling a bit starved for content in The Sims 4. Is anybody else feeling that way? I feel like there hasn't been news in a long time. I mean, like there was the roadmap, but The Sims is kind of falling out of the spotlight. Like, I saw a pixelated post. That's what I'm looking for. That's the word I'm looking for. And a lot of people were commenting under it, being like, I just don't care about The Sims anymore because, like, we've just gotten disappointed so many times. And I'm like, yeah, I don't care about current Sims stuff anymore, but, like, the game, I can still appreciate the game for what it is because, personally, the gameplay sucks. And I will say that over and over again, it does. It's horrible. And they really haven't moved to fix it that much, so we can only really cross our fingers and hope for better in The Sims 5 at this point. I think the cast is good, but I don't really do cast. I do building, right? And as far as building is concerned, I feel like, you know, it's good. It's good. They're making good content for builders, and like overall, I'm pleased. There's just like some things that I wish were better, but like overall, I think it's okay. So I don't really like complain about The Sims that much, I don't think. Like, I'll complain about it the way that other people complain about it, but I don't have the same passion because I really like, it doesn't affect me that much. And like, yeah, the packs are money grabs and all that stuff, but like, I mainly pay for the build content. That's the main thing that I go into it knowing that I'm gonna do. So I don't complain as long as the build content is good. But, I don't know. I feel like it saddens me that The Sims is just not thriving, really. But Paralives is exciting. If you guys need Paralives news, watch Erin's videos on it. Simmer Erin, she's making a lot of really good Paralives news content. But that is definitely going to be an exciting game, I think. I don't know. The more I hear about it, the more it seems like unrealistic, and I get kind of scared because at the beginning I was like, oh, it's gonna be great. It's just like a little indie game, you know. It's cute, and like they said it's gonna run on low-grade computers and everything's good. It's just gonna be fantastic, you know. But it's it's looking pretty like complex, which not to say that indie games can't be complex, because they definitely can. Like, indie creators are amazing, don't get me wrong. Do not get me wrong on that at all. But I also feel like they might be overshooting a bit. I mean, they still have like a lot of time before it's even projected to come out, because it's not even gonna get out by the end of 2020, I don't think. So like, I'm sure they'll have time to figure everything out. I just don't know, like, I don't know. I mean, it seems like it's gonna be a really good competitor to The Sims though, which I think is a good thing, because I see this coming out one of two ways. One, The Sims just buckles and like that's it for it, like it just is never the same as it was before. Or two, it ends up upping its game a lot because it knows that it actually has competition now, and we get really good Sims content. So either way, we end up with a good game. Personally, I'm kind of rooting for Paralives to come out as the winner, but I don't know. Then again, I have a Sims channel, so maybe I should root for The Sims. I don't know. Like, The Sims as a game is very important to me, but I just don't see it getting that much better. Like, I don't see it improving from what it is now. The Sims 4, at least. I think The Sims 5 has potential. Like, I'm sure they can make a good Sims 5 if they really try to, and, like, they've heard the backlash at this point. People aren't going to invest in a whole new game if there's a better option out there, and I don't know. The whole thing is very dramatic. I don't know. I am just excited, you know? Overall, I think good things will come out of it, so, yeah. anyways, now we are working on the park, so hopefully you guys liked what I did with the old-fashioned soda shop and candy store. I still don't know how I feel about it really, because like I said, I tried my best to recreate it, but a lot of the decorations, we just don't have anything like them in the game because there's no reason to have them. So I tried my best, and I think it's still a cute place to visit for sure, and like it's functional, so overall I'm happy with it. I just don't know how accurate it was to the recreation thing that I wanted to go for, but either way, the park is definitely very accurate, so I'm really happy with that. What I will say is that the regular town square, when you look at it in the show, it's just barren. Like, it's literally just grass, and then there's the gazebo, and there's more grass, and first of all, I had to put some stuff in so it would be functional as a park. Like, you could count it as a park in the game, because otherwise, like, you need a few things. You need a play structure, and you need chess tables, and I think picnic tables, barbecue, and a bathroom. I think that's what you need for the park to, technically speaking, be functional in the game as a park. So I did end up including all of those things, obviously, but I also just tried to like make it a little more like substantial of a lot, if you know what I mean, because as a place in the show, the town square is kind of just like where they put all of their like events and stuff. Like if they're having the festival, they have it in the town square. But we don't have, first of all, we don't have stuff for a festival, and second of all, I didn't want it to be like they're in a festival all the time. So if you wanted to like recreate the show, like I don't know, a scene from the show or something, you could definitely deck out the park so that it like looks like it's from a festival. I think especially using like the food booths, the food stalls, I guess would be a really good way to do that. And there's like lots of stuff that you could use to do that. And I also did include a food stall from Seasons because I felt like, I mean, there's a lot of different food stalls in the games. I just felt like Seasons fit the aesthetic best. So yeah, either way, I think this would be a fun park to visit. Overall, I'm really excited for this whole area. Like, I hate Magnolia Promenade. Like, I'm just gonna say it, I hate Magnolia Promenade. I feel like everybody does. It's just not a good place to be, you know? So, ooh, I feel like I have a very Valley Girl accent today. I mean, California things, but, I'm like, Sal. Anyway, what I was saying is that I think Magnolia Promenade overall is just an ugly place, and like it was never meant to be a residential world. It was always meant to be like where you put all of your stuff that you build with Get to Work, so like your retail shops and your malls and your whatever. But like nobody builds that, because that's not when you're like sitting down to build something in The Sims and you're like, what am I gonna build today? You're never like, I know, a mall, a huge store where I can just fill it with things to purchase. Like it just doesn't happen, you know? So I think that it's just better as this place with like different, I don't know, like restaurants and parks and stuff, and it feels like a cuter area to me. And I definitely am like, I'm happy that we have it in the game for the sake of my recreation of Stars Hollow, because it's like the most accurate world to Stars Hollow when you look at it. Like when you look at the scenery around it and stuff, I mean, granted, Stars Hollow isn't coastal necessarily because it's in Connecticut, but I mean, I guess it is coastal then, but it's not like directly next to water. But it does have like a lot of the sort of townhousey, I don't really know what to call it, just historic feelings. Overall, I just think it's good. So, I keep saying so. I'm sorry, I didn't realize I said so much until I really started thinking about it, which really just happened during this voiceover, but I keep hearing myself say it, and I'm like, oh my god, stop. But I don't think it's a big deal. This is always, I call myself out so much in my voiceovers, and then also the other thing is I don't think I've gotten through a voiceover in literally like probably my entire YouTube career without like complaining about how I do voiceovers, and it's problematic because nobody cares, okay? Nobody would care, but I'm like, oh my god, my voiceovers are so bad, and then people realize it, so I should probably stop saying that. That's my goal, okay? For the rest of this series, I am not going to talk about how bad my voiceovers are, ever. And if I do, I don't know. I'm quitting YouTube. No, I'm not. Because I just imagine not having anything to do. I would go stir crazy. I would literally die. This is like, I need something to do so I can feel like I'm being productive, because like, I don't know. I mean, obviously I would still play Sims, like duh, but that's why I started a YouTube channel in the first place, because like I was playing Sims so much, but I was like, I am not producing anything. Like, this is just pointless builds that I put on the gallery, and like, I mean, to be fair, I do put builds on the gallery, so technically people get to play in them. But like, I don't know, I never really think anybody plays in my builds, but although 2 people in the past few days have commented about like not being able to find my puzzle in the gallery, and I was like, yeah, that's because I never put them up because I don't think anybody uses them, but apparently they do, so I should probably do that. But yeah, that was fun. That just, I felt like affirmed, you know? I was like, wow, people actually like my builds. People actually want to play in them. I don't know. I don't know what I think is happening when people watch the videos, though. I'm like, no, they hate this video and this build. They're just like watching it because like they have nothing else to do. But yeah, that was fun. I think it's cool. I have to go through all of my builds from like the past month or so and put them on the gallery because they are not on there. Like, I will tell you that right now. They're not up because I just didn't, like, I never got around to it, I guess. I just don't really, I always forget. Unless there's a build that I'm like really proud of, then I put it up. But then again, I was really proud of the jungle container home and that's not up, so I should fix that, shouldn't I? Yeah, I'll do that tomorrow. Anyway, basically, this is pretty much honestly like it for the park. We just put down some picnic tables and I spend a while trying to pick out picnic tables. Also there's barbecues and stuff, and then chess tables. And one more thing that I want to mention now because it happens at the very end of the video and I want to explain it. I put down a busking station. You may be like, that's a pretty random thing to put in a park, but it's not. And you want to know why? There is this thing throughout the entire show where they have a town troubadour, and the town troubadour just sings songs on his guitar, and he's like standing on the side of the street, and he's like, yeah, I'm singing and I don't accept money, and it's a whole plot line. There's like the thing where, oh, the same guy that opened up the grocery store, like the hippie guy that opened the grocery or sold his vegetables in the park, he's the same guy that becomes the like opposing town troubadour. It's great. You should watch Gilmore Girls if you haven't already. But basically, he like is just the troubadour for the entire show, and he sings songs and stuff, and it's great. So I wanted to put the busking station down because I realized, well, I didn't realize until like literally the very end of the build that I didn't have it down, but I had planned to put it down the whole time because I wanted a sim to show up and sing songs with the guitar. And I don't think there's a way you can like control what instrument the busking station person is using, but maybe you can have your sim be the busker and you can like recreate the troubadour guy. I don't know. I think it would be fun. I just think it's a really cool thing, like a little shout out to the show. I say that like the entire build isn't a shout out to the show. Anyway, that is pretty much it for the build, so thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, you can leave a like and comment to let me know. Subscribe if you want to see more videos, and click the bell for notifications if you want to get notified every single time that I upload a video. And if you want to play in this build, it will be on my gallery. My origin ID is in the description. That is it. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.